Macaroni and cheese, a type of pasta that Italians would likely hate. This saucer is what the name tells us, a mixture of cooked elbow macaroni with a lot of cheddar cheese all over it. The cheese makes the macaroni stick together and it's really easy to tell apart from the macaroni. Since 1937, the Kraft Company has been putting macaroni and cheese into a box for every American kid growing up. Its ultimate origins are Italian, as one finds mac and cheese recipes from the late 13th century in southern Italy. It is also said that the classic American mac and cheese returned with Thomas Jefferson to Virginia after his temporary stay in Italy. Jefferson had brought back a pasta machine. His daughter, Mary Randolph, made the dish after the death of Jefferson's wife, and she is credited for inventing the dish using macaroni and Parmesan cheese. Later, the Parmesan was replaced with cheddar cheese. The term molecular gastronomy is often used to refer to the combination of science such as chemistry or physics in the food industry. Formally, it's a science discipline that studies the changes in food when it's cooked, different ways in which we can create certain dishes with some interesting variants. Also, it explains some of the social and even artistic factors involved. Emulsification. Any school child knows that the simple rule of chemistry is oil and water don't mix. This is because they repel each other due to different electrical charges in their molecules. Water molecules are electrically unbalanced or polar and they attract each other. Oil molecules are non-polar and therefore don't play well with other water molecules. But modernist chefs are not ones to be stopped by an immutable law of nature. An emulsion happens when there are dispersions of one liquid into another liquid. Emulsions, with their cream-like textures and unique flavors, combine oil and water into a single stable mix. Depending on the thickener and emulsifier used, an emulsion can have textures varying from milky to thick and creamy. Surfactants are the most widely type of emulsifier used in modernist cuisines. A simplified way of looking at it is to say that an emulsifier has both polar and non-polar ends. Macaroni and cheese? How about molecular macaroni and cheese? If you like experiments, this is a fun recipe to try for your weeknight dinner. It's really delicious and you don't need a roux. What makes this mac and cheese recipe molecular is the use of a molecular technique, or emulsifying sauces, cheese sauces in particular, with sodium citrate. Citrate is an intermediate in the citric acid cycle, and thus is involved in the metabolic process of aerobic organisms. Citrate is known as a friendly metabolite. Add on sodium ion bicarbonate, and you get a sodium citrate, which is nothing to be afraid of. It's in our bodies anyways, even if you don't use techniques from the modernist cuisine. You need a specific amount of sodium citrate or the sauce may taste too sour and get really thick. The salt emulsifies the sauce without the use of a roux, a mixture of fat and cheese. A bonus feature of using sodium citrate is that the oil in the cheese won't separate from the sauce, so it's ideal in making cheese sauces and fondues for any kind of cheese. So tell me, what would you rather have? Kraft macaroni and cheese? Or molecular mac and cheese?